Hi and welcome to another 5-minute session, and this time it will be Introduction to Shader. So we have here what we normally get as a default when we select the shader editor in Blender when we create a material. So we have the principled and we have material output, and the principle is a shader. And so far we have done patterns. We have created patterns using different types of math, but we have not talked or showed any structure on a surface, and that is what the shader does. So the shader takes care of the light and the reflection and the feeling on the surface. So if it's transparent, or if it's a rough surface, or if it's a shiny surface, and so on. That is what the shader takes care of. This is what is called a PBR shader, which means physical based render, and the goal for that type of shader is to make the end result as close to realistic as possible. There are different types of shaders, so some of those are not aimed to get something realistic, but the PBR shader is, and this is a PBR shader. A PBR shader has some rules, so every software, mostly every software, there are some exceptions, but most software, they use the same set of rules to create this realistic material, and that means that since everyone is using the same, we can then use the same type of data to get something in here. And I will show you how this works. So I will take a few notes in this session, and then I will continue in the next session, so we get a final result in the next session. So this is the beginning, but you will see how it works. So first of all, we need some images in to make everything look nice. So we go to a site on the internet, and we can take the texture.com. I found these 3 images here. So it's 5 images that are free to use. So we have color, and that is the only thing that is color. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 other images, but they describe data. So this is the height, and the height can be used for enhancing the feeling of depth and height, but it could also be for using for displacement, that where it really moves the geometry up and down according to the texture. Then we have a normal, which also fakes height and depth, but also direction of the light, and that is the most common way to cheat in games when it comes to pretending that the flat surface is not flat. Then we have the roughness. This is telling how shiny something should be. And then we have the ambient occlusion. And ambient occlusion is like a fake shadow that is like a layer on top of everything. So you can take 5 of these images and just download them to your computer. And after that, you just go back to Blender again. So now we are back to Blender, and I have then taken these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I will not put everyone in here in this session. I will continue in the next, as I said, but we can start with this one, the one that is called albedo, because that is the most simple one, and that is sRGB, and that is the only thing that is sRGB, because this is the color. So you can just put the color in here, and now you can see that we get something, but it doesn't look like a rock. It's just flat and noisy, but not a rock. So we need more images. And we can take another image here in this session, and we can take, that is the normal. So that is what describes the depth and height. And to make that, we can either just drag it here, which is the wrong way to do it, but then you can see it. Or we can do what we should do, and that is to add something called a normal map between here. So there's Shift A, then you go to Vector and a normal map, and then you can take the color to the color and the normal to the normal, and you can see the result is much better now. Remember that you should use color space non-color, because this is not color, this is information, so use non-color here. So this was the 5 first minutes, and here you then see how we use albedo and normal to get something. But we will make an even better result in the next session. So I continue in that one. Yes, I bye for now and see you tomorrow.